welcome back to my channel. My name is Susan and today we are making strawberry banana jam. I think this is one of my favorite jams to make. I think it's because of the combination of the strawberries and the bananas together. So what you're going to need for this recipe is you're going to need 8 cups of fresh strawberries, 1 cup of mashed bananas, 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1 packet of fruit pectin, and 4.5 cups of granular sugar. So let's start by adding our strawberries to the pot. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm putting 1 cup of strawberries in at a time, and as I'm putting them in, they're going to start cooking. And the process of this is just getting all 8 cups into the pot, and then we're going to start mashing them as we add the strawberries. So it's a continuous add strawberries, start mashing. The whole purpose of this is to get all the juice out, or as much juice out from the strawberries as we possibly can. So now that we have all our strawberries in the pot, what we're going to do is we're going to just let it cook. And we're going to let it cook to a point where we're going to start seeing more and more juice come from the strawberries as they cook down. As your strawberries are cooking, you want to make sure that you give it a good stir once in a while so that everything gets mixed up together, nothing's sticking on the bottom. Also continue to mash them so that all your strawberries break down. What you're going to do now is you're going to add your cup of mashed bananas, and then you're going to give it a good stir. Now add your 1 pack of pectin. Add your 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Then you're going to give everything a good stir. Now you're going to add your cane sugar or your granular sugar, and you're going to add it 1 scoop at a time. You're going to give everything a good stir, but please be careful because now that you've added your sugar and it's boiling, you're going to see that it's going to start foaming up very quickly. Now the reason you're going to want to remove this foam, because as you can see I'm scooping out the foam with a spoon, it's because it's containing a lot of air. And air is not what you want in your jars. You're only going to want a certain amount of headspace in your jar. And if you have a jam that's got a lot of bubbles or foam in it, it's going to shorten the storage life of your jam because you're adding air to the jars, which you don't want. Now, as you can see, I'm pureeing the jam. Normally when I make strawberry jam, I don't mind having large pieces of strawberries in it, but because it's a strawberry banana, I don't want to have the large pieces of banana in it. Now that's just personal preference. You can do whatever it is that you feel you want to do. I just don't want large pieces of banana, so that's why I'm pureeing it all. Now that I've removed all the foam and I've cooked it down to equal 7 cups, it's time to put everything in jars. Now I've washed my jars, I've sterilized them. I've also sterilized the lids as well, and I still have them in boiling water. So now I'm going to start adding my jam to my jars. I try to get my jars as close as possible to the pot so I don't make a lot of mess. So as you can see, it's a bit of a juggling act. So what I normally do is, as I fill up my jars, I tend to put the lids on shortly afterwards. And I do this little batches at a time because I have a tendency of being very klutzy. And I will knock over a jar, and then before I know it, I have jam everywhere. So I try to do a little bit at a time, so fill up the jars and then put the lids on. You want to remember though to wipe the rim of the lid, because if you don't wipe the rim, what's going to happen is that you're not going to get a really good seal between the glass jar and your lids. So unfortunately, I don't have video on me putting the jam in a water bath. No matter what you're canning, in a water bath canner, the technique is the same. You want to make sure that your jars are submerged an inch under the water. You want to make sure that the jars aren't clanking together because they could break in that sense. And you also want to boil them for at least 10 minutes. The whole purpose of the water bath canning is so that any bacteria is eliminated from the jars. Once you take your cans out of the canner, you're going to want to set them aside for at least 24 hours undisturbed. You also want to make sure that all your jars or the lids are popping once the jars start to cool off. The popping noise of the lids indicates that your jars are sealed properly. So if the popping noise doesn't happen, you're going to have to change out the lids, put on new lids, and do the whole water bath process over again. Otherwise, you're just going to have to put them in the fridge and use them up quickly.
So if you enjoyed this recipe, you might want to check out those ones as well. Until next time, bye-bye for now.